Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for viewing my video. Today's video topic is creating an arch-topped wall with a known diameter in Sweethome 3D version 5.4. Now, there was a question posted on the forum, which I will put a link to down in the description field, asking how to create an arch-top wall. I'm not 100% sure if what I'm going to show you in this video is going to fully answer that question, but this is something I discovered last night while working on a drawing for what is called a Quonset hut or a high tunnel, that I needed to create two end walls to encapsulate the ends of this unit. So this is the process I came up with in the software to create the end caps for this tunnel. So let's get started. As you can see on the screen, we have the definitions of the major parts of a circle. Now, I'm not going to get too into the math on this, but here's the rough information on how I determined what I needed. And as this topic states, it's from a known diameter. So I know that my base plane at the bottom of my high tunnel is 16 feet. So that means that is my diameter of my circle. So from there, using the math that you see on your screen, it shows you how to find your radius and your circumference as well as your diameter, from a known diameter, that is, not find the diameter. So what we're going to do is the following, and this is how I created this. I'm going to come up to the wall tool, so we're going to select create a wall, and we're going to start, and we're going to draw a line. We're going to make a 16-foot wall. There's our wall. We're going to double click to set the wall. We're going to use our selection tool. We're going to come back, we're going to double click on the wall, we're going to go to its properties. Now, under the wall height, I'm going to set the wall height to the width of a 2x4 on its shortest edge. So I'm going to set this to 1.75 inches. And I'm going to set the thickness of the wall to 1.75 inches as well. And then on the texture and color areas for right and left, you do not need to worry about these. But I am going to go ahead and set my left side texture, or color, sorry, to white, and my right side color to white. Now, here in the arc extent, we're going to set this to 180-degree arc. Boom. There we go. Now, with that being set, what I'm now going to do is I need to, in my end cap, one of my end caps, I need to designate a door and a window. So I know that I want my door to be 36 inches. So we're going to make a 3-foot mark. I know I want my door to be 6 feet 10 inches tall, or 82 inches. So I'm going to make another line that's 6 feet 10 inches, or thereabout. this mark. Oops. Select our selection tool. I'm going to move this mark up. And now I'm going to move my, oops. Now I'm going to move my door opening up. Just up to here for the time being. Now, I want to center my door. So if I know that my bottom diameter is 16 feet, that means center, or the radius, is going to be 8. So I'm going to take my measurement tool, and I'm going to measure from the corner over 8 feet. Now I'm just going to move this up. Right to that line. I'm going to grab my door. Now you see the little arrow that's showing there? Zoom in. You can see that little arrow? I can use that now to align my door to center. And I'm going to bring it down. And there's my door. It's now centered. I can move this marking over here. And I have now defined my door. But actually, one other thing I want to do is I want to define that top edge of my door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another measurement of 36 inches or 3 feet. And yes, for you folks in Europe, I am using imperial and not metric. I'm sorry. And I'm going to move this till it intersects right there. Okay, that defines the opening of my door. So there's my door opening now defined. Now, I also want 2 windows that are going to be 2 feet square. So I'm just going to create a line that is 2 feet. Create another line that's 2 feet. And there we go. There's my 2 foot square. Now, since I said I wanted 2 of those, we're just going to copy and paste this. And there's my second window. Now, I want my windows to be 3 feet off the ground. So we're just going to come over here and we're going to draw up 3 inches. I'm going to make a mark. Copy that and paste it. Pull that one over here. Now, yes, I know I'm taking the long way of showing you how to do this, but that's because this whole process will answer some questions here in a minute once we're to the point of almost completion. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to center that 2 up on there. I'm going to repeat the process on the other side. Center that 2 up. You know, roughly centered. They don't have to be perfect. Okay, now here's how you make this an opaque structure. What we're going to do is we're going to come up, we're going to define a room. So we're going to create room. Start at our corner, make our first click. And we're going to come over to the bottom of our door. We're going to click there. We're going to come up, click there. We're going to come across, click there, come up, click there, click there. Now you have to follow this pathing the way I'm doing it, otherwise you'll wind up with gaps in the finished layout. And we're just coming down to each one of the crosshairs and setting our mark. Now at this point you're going to need to hold down your Alt key and you're going to need to start working your way up the edge of the wall. Now it doesn't matter if the little click is inside, that's fine. We're just going to keep working our way up the wall. Then we're going to come down to this corner. We're going to click down to this corner. Click. 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 Now we're just going to resume our way all the way around, clicking on this edge. Move yourself a couple of degrees each time. And just follow that edge. The more points you have up here, the better this is going to look. Now, I know some of you may be asking, well, why isn't he going to the outer edge? And that's because that wall is actually going to appear as part of our 3D object when we're ready. So I don't need to actually be on that outer edge. So this does make it a little bit simpler to just stay within, quote unquote, the lines. And then we're going to finish up with our final click at home. We're going to double click and we're going to set it. Okay. And that creates our interior. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to choose our selection tool. We're going to modify our room. Now, what you want to do is turn off display area. You want to select both display floor and display ceiling. Now, on your ceiling, set your color to white. On your display floor, set your texture to whatever texture you wish. In my case, I'm going to be setting it to OSB beadboard, which I have in my collection. I'm going to tell it OK. And there we go. Now, at this point, we're ready to export this item so that we can see it in real time. If you look down below, in our 3D view, you can see what this is going to look like when it's finished. So now we're just going to come back. And we are going to do our selection tool. And we want to make sure that we select everything. So we're going to go to 3D view, export to object. I'm going to put it in the folder where I have all the rest of this stuff. And I'm going to save that. Now at this point where it says export objects, do you want to export only the items selected in the plan or all home items with ground items in the elevation of 0? You want to select export selection. Never select export all. If you do, you're going to get everything that's visible on your page. So export selection, that's going to do its thing. Now we're going to change our plan here real quick. We're going to go to where this is needed. So now I'm going to do File, Furniture, Import Furniture, choose my model. I'm going to go find my wall, open, click Continue. Now, when it comes to the perspective and top view and front view and left view, you want the top view actually as the front view. So we're going to tell that to go down 1, and it puts it in the correct orientation now. So now we're going to click Continue. I'm going to tell this to add it to my catalog. I'm going to put it in my miscellaneous catalog. You want to leave it keep proportion. You also want to make it movable, and you want to leave its elevation at 0. Do not worry about changing the color. So now we're going to click Continue, and we're going to click Finish, and there is my new front end. So now I'm just going to drag this into the location where it's needed, and I'm going to correct its elevation. By clicking on the corrected item, and I need to make its elevation 7.5 inches. Doink. And now I'm going to zoom in just so I can tweak its location a little. Now, when we look at our 3D representation, I now have a solid, curved, arch-topped wall. Now, for the windows and the door framing, I can come back using the box tool, and I can create a myriad of options to make it look like a casing around that door just using the box option in the software. So that's it. That's how you're going to do that. Now, if you want to create a blank piece, like I also need, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back, and I am actually going to delete the room, and I'm going to delete all of the measurements because they don't matter anymore at this point. They have served their purpose. And we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to create a room. We're going to start at one corner. We're going to work our way over. And again, holding down your Alt key, you're just going to work your way up around like I said, the more points, the smoother it's going to look. So every 5 or 10 degrees, click yourself a point. Try to stay on the line, like kindergarten. But, you be you. You can be outside the line if you want to. And we're just going to click all the way down through. And yes, I know there's some blanks and some ums and things like that in the statements, but that's because this is a one-shot, one continuous, no editing style of video making. It's what I prefer to do. Okay, there's our room design. So again, we're going to now select our selection tool. We're going to come back. We're going to change the properties. We want to turn off that area because we really don't care about it. And in this case, we're going to turn on display our ceiling again. And this time I'm going to change the texture of the ceiling to the OSB. And I'm going to set the texture of the floor. I'm sorry, we're going to set the color of the floor to white. And we're going to tell it OK. And we're going to do our file. Oh, I'm sorry, we're going to do our selection tool. And we want to select everything again. And then 3D view, export to object. We're going to save it the location we did the other one. Oops. Library sources. And we're just going to change this to back wall. Save that. Export our selection. And we're going to go back over to our other one. Zoom out. Furniture. Import furniture. Choose a model. Back wall. Open. Continue. Drop it down one. Continue. Add it to our catalog. Miscellaneous. Continue. Finish. There it is. Go ahead and set the elevation to 7.5 to match the other one. Make sure it's 7.5 inches, not feet. Now we're going to zoom in. And we're going to set our back piece in place. And there we go. That is how I create an arch-typed wall, arch-topped wall. I'll get my mouth to work right one of these days. In Sweethome 3D, making the software do something it's not designed to do. I hope you found this helpful and useful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment field below. I will check them as soon as I possibly can and try to reply to you within a week. Unfortunately, I have been ill, so it's been a little difficult for me to do this, but this was something I thought needed to be answered for those folks out there that were wondering how to do this. Thank you for your viewership, and you have a nice day.